/hook, midnight to 010, asterisk voiceover asterisk. Harat, Bilko midnight par, ek koda sa baby aro rahai, or koi nai janakuya wazkahanas eerie high. AAP sak rahi hung, ye surf ekawaz high ya kuchbo had zyadakofnak. /hide, suspense start good time, 030 to 040, asterisk voiceover asterisk. Agar AAP is kahani ka asiraz janachahain, or AC, or be chilling canyon sunachahain. To subscribe carrying or niche comedy apna and daza share carrying. Kia AP Satchme is baby kia waz ka salsa bob guess car sakane. Hook ka structure asterisk. 1. Curiosity asterisk. Ek baby arahai. Or koi nai janakahanasi. 2. Suspense asterisk surf ekawaz yakutzayadakofnak. 3. Call to action asterisk. Suspense could start me viewers KO subscribe or comment karn. Kalia naturally encourage Kia.
Here, as a full lift shield voiceover script phase 3 idea, the baby cries over midnight, crafty to maximize sense, engagement, and synergistic storytelling. 60 นาฬิกา ถึง 0 นาฬิกา 5 นาที Voice over จุ๊บ Every night at exactly midnight a baby cries inside an empty house and no one knows where it come from. Suspense first set 0 นาฬิกา 5 นาที ถึง 0 นาฬิกา 40 นาที Voice over จุ๊บIt started in a quiet suburban neighbor family moved into a charming old Victoria house. Excited to start fresh but soon things were right. It always began at midnight a soft, distant wail, like a baby calling out help at first, that it was never a child, but when they checked her house was dark, every window silent. Something was inside doors waiting for them in the shadows. Build up 0 นาฬิกา 40 นาที ถึง 2 นาฬิกา Voice over จุ๊บThe first few nights, they tried to ignore it, sleep through it, pretend it was tea happening, but the crying grew louder. It was tea just crying, it was desperate heart breaking, a sound that clawed at those, pulling them from sleep. They called friends, neighbors, even the police, no one heard anything unusual. One night, the father, curious, terrified, followed the sound, room by room, hallway by hallway. And then he noticed it, the nursery door, it was locked from the inside. But the house had been empty for months before they moved in. There was no baby, there was no nursery, and yet the crying never stopped. Immediately CTA 200 Voice over Natural pause sound. If you rehooked already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss much link story like this. Main climax 2 นาฬิกา 10 นาที ถึง 3 นาฬิกา Voice over จุ๊บ Then, one night, they decided to record it front on classroom, crying started louder than ever. And then something appeared on the window, rocking shimmering on its own. A shadowy figure barely visible standing in the corner, watching. No one in the house, just the sound of a baby crying and that figure impatient. The parents could, sleep, till cries followed them, always at midnight over watching. Cliffhanger to be continued 300 Voice over จุ๊บ Some say the house is cursed, some say it. I ghost trapped in time. But one night the crying stopped and what they snake changed everything. To be continued. This script has all your requested points. Hook the mysterious midnight crying immediately grabs prosap. Suspense gradually rules with events without giving away the truth. Emotional tension uses short, punchy sentences to make the audience feel fear and curiosity. CTA naturally inserted after suspense builds. Climactic moment, shadowy figure and supernatural events pique curiosity. Cliffhangers use desperate to see next part.
Absolutely. Here's a continuation of The Baby Cries Every Midnight, picking up exactly where we left off and keeping suspense cinematic. /hook/reentry, midnight to 010. Asterisk voiceover asterisk. The cry had stopped, but the house was far from silent. Something worse had begun. /suspenseful setup 010 to 050. Asterisk voiceover asterisk. The parents thought the nightmare was over. Maybe the cries had finally vanished. But then shadows started moving where they shouldn't. Doors creaked open on their own. Cold spots appeared in empty rooms. And at night, whispers. Barely audible, a baby laughing, or was it Crying? The lines between reality and the unknown blurred. Every corner of the house seemed alive, watching, waiting. Backslash build up 050 to 150, asterisk voice over asterisk. They called in a paranormal investigator. Equipment lined every room. Cameras, EVP recorders, motion sensors. At midnight, the crying returned. Louder, closer, desperate. The monitors caught it. Tiny handprints appearing on the nursery walls. Footsteps pacing in empty hallways. The investigators froze when the temperature dropped to near freezing. Inside a room with no windows. And then a tiny rocking chair slowly started rocking by itself. Slowly back and forth, back and forth. No one dared touch it. But the camera recorded a faint, almost human whisper. Don't leave, stay with me. Backslash mid-story CTA. Backslash 1:50. Asterisk voice over asterisk. If your heart is racing already, hit subscribe. More chilling truths like this are coming. Backslash main climax 2 to 250. Asterisk voice over asterisk. One night, determined to end it, the father entered the nursery alone. Camera rolling. The crying started instantly. He could feel it in his chest, like the house itself was breathing, alive, angry. Then he saw her, a small, ghostly figure, a baby, pale, floating just above the floor, eyes wide, unblinking. It reached out, and suddenly the crying stopped. Silence, so loud it hurt. And then the figure smiled, a smile no human should have, and whispered, "You're mine now." Backslash cliffhanger slash to be continued 2:50 plus. Asterisk voice over asterisk. The family fled. But the house didn't let them go. Items moved, lights flickered. The crying echoed miles away. Some say the baby still waits at midnight, searching for the next family. And the question remains, will they ever be safe again? To be continued. This continuation keeps the suspense building. Introduces a ghostly figure, heightens danger, and ends with an emotionally chilling cliffhanger to hook viewers for next installment. Absolutely. Here's part 3 of The Baby Cries Every Midnight, continuing seamlessly from the last cliffhanger, ramping up the terror and revealing the house's dark history. Backslash hook slash reentry, midnight to 010, asterisk voice over asterisk. The baby's cries had followed them, but now the house wanted more than attention. It wanted revenge. Backslash suspenseful setup 010 to 050. Asterisk voice over asterisk. The family thought leaving would end it. They moved far away, changing addresses, locking doors, even leaving town for a week. But at midnight, the cries returned, clear, closer, impossible. On their own property, coming from inside their new home. The whispers were back too. Faint at first, but growing louder with each night. And then they found something hidden in an old chest that had come with a Victorian house. A diary, written decades ago by a mother who vanished with her baby. Backslash build up 050 to 150, asterisk voice over asterisk. The diary told a story of obsession, of a mother who loved her child too much and then, in a moment of madness, took the baby and locked it away in a hidden nursery. The baby never survived, or at least, that's what the record said. The entries ended abruptly, smeared with something dark, almost like blood. The family realized the cries were not random. They were a warning, a call for justice or revenge. Every midnight, the baby demanded attention, searching for someone to finish what was started decades ago. One night, the father decided to confront the nursery, camera in hand, flashlight in the other. He opened a hidden door for the first time. Backslash mid-story CTA, backslash 1:50, asterisk voice over asterisk. If the tension is getting to you, hit subscribe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Backslash main climax 2 to 250, asterisk voice over asterisk. Inside, the room was perfectly preserved. Toys scattered, crib empty, but the air was heavy alive. The cry began immediately, louder than ever, as if the house knew he had opened the door. And then he saw it, the baby, translucent, stare with eyes that weren't just sad, they were angry. It crawled toward him. The whispers turned into screams. "Stay," it shouted. "Forever." The father stumbled backward, heart racing, as the room seemed to stretch and twist, trapping him. The house wasn't just haunted, it was alive, and it wanted him permanently. /cliffhanger/ to be continued. 2:50+. *voiceover*. The mother screamed from the doorway, but when she ran in, the nursery was empty. Only the sound of a baby crying filled the house, echoing through every wall, every room. And somewhere, the rocking chair moved again. To be continued. This part 3. * reveals the house's dark history while keeping mystery. * raises the stakes of the family. The haunting is now personal and deadly. * ends with a terrifying cliffhanger to pull viewers into part. Here's part 4 of The Baby Cries Every Midnight, continuing directly from the last cliffhanger, taking the story to a terrifying confrontation with a shocking twist. /hook/reentry, midnight to 010. *voiceover*. The baby's cries didn't stop. They followed the family into their very souls. /suspenseful setup, 010 to 050. *voiceover*. After that night, the family realized running wasn't enough. The house, the baby, whatever it was, it had marked them. No matter where they went, the cries returned at midnight. Phones recorded whispers, shadows lingered in corners, and cold spots followed them through every room. The mother began researching the house's history, desperate for answers, and she found it. A hidden record in the town archives, a tragic story of a mother who had lost her mind, locked her baby away, and vanished without a trace. /build-up 050 to 150, *voiceover*. The diary, the archive, and the unrelenting cries painted a terrifying picture. The baby's spirit was trapped, angry, hungry for attention, and vengeful. They tried everything, rituals, priests, cleansing the house, but nothing worked. The crying grew louder, more urgent, as if time was running out. One night, at the stroke of midnight, the father decided to face the nursery again. This time, he brought something new, a small music box he had found hidden behind a loose floorboard. It had belonged to the baby. Decades ago, he hoped it would calm the spirit, or at least distract it long enough for them to escape. /midstory CTA, /1:50, *voiceover*. If your heart is racing, don't forget to subscribe, because what happens next will chill you to the bone. /main climax, 2 to 250, *voiceover*. As the music played, the crying stopped for a heartbeat. Then the baby appeared, pale, translucent, eyes wide with fury. The room warped around him. The air grew thick, heavy, almost suffocating. He reached the music box, and the father held it out. The ghost recoiled, screaming, the sound piercing, unnatural, echoing through the walls. And then something impossible happened. The baby's eyes turned black. Its mouth opened, but no sound came out. The room went silent, and the father realized the baby wasn't alone. /cliffhanger/ to be continued. 2:50+. *voiceover*. From the shadows behind the nursery door, more figures emerged. Small, ghostly, all staring. Dozens of children, trapped, angry, waiting. The family backed away, terrified, as the cries began again, louder than ever. And the father knew one thing with horrifying clarity. The house would never let them go, and the nightmare was far from over. To be continued. This part 4. * escalates the haunting to multiple spirits, raising the stakes dramatically. * introduces a new twist with the music box, showing an attempted solution that backfires. * ends with a high-stakes cliffhanger, perfect to keep viewers desperate for part 5. Here's part 5 of The Baby Cries Every Midnight, continuing the story with a terrifying escalation and shocking twist about the house itself. /hook/reentry, midnight to 010. *voiceover*. The cries weren't just coming from the nursery. They were coming from the walls, the floors, from the house itself. /suspenseful setup, 010 to 050, asterisk voiceover asterisk. The family realized the spirits weren't just trapped. They were bound to the house. Every room, every hallway, every shadow pulsed with their presence. The mother scoured the town records and found the truth. The house had been built on land cursed by a tragic accident centuries ago. Children had vanished, families had fled, and every few decades, the same cycle repeated. A family moved in, the baby cried, and the spirits returned. They were next. Backslash build up 050 to 150, asterisk voiceover asterisk. Determined to end it, the father devised a plan. They would confront the nursery and the house itself. At midnight, they returned with candles, salt, and the old music box. The crying started immediately, louder than ever. The walls seemed to breathe. The floors groaned and shadows slithered like living things. The father placed a music box in the center of the nursery, hoping to anchor the spirits. Then the baby appeared, eyes black as coal, floating above the crib. Around it, dozens of ghostly children, all silent, all watching. Backslash mid-story CTA, backslash 1:50, asterisk voiceover asterisk. If you made it this far, hit subscribe, because the ending of this story is something you'll never forget. Backslash main climax, 2 to 250, asterisk voiceover asterisk. The music box started playing, and the spirits shrieked. The walls cracked. The floorboards splintered, and the house seemed to twist in on itself. The father shouted, begging the spirits to leave, promising to destroy the house if they would go. The baby floated closer, whispering, "This is our home, you can't take it." And then the nursery door slammed shut, trapping the family inside. The walls bled shadows. The ceiling warped. The house wasn't just haunted, it was alive, and it had claimed them as part of its curse. Backslash cliffhanger slash to be continued, 2:50 plus, asterisk voiceover asterisk. The mother screamed. The father's hand shook as he held the music box, and then everything went silent. The crying stopped, but the darkness stayed. And in the silence, a single whisper echoed through the house. "Midnight belongs to us." To be continued. This part 5. Asterisk reveals the house itself as a sentient, cursed entity, escalating the horror. Asterisk keeps the tension claustrophobic and inescapable, making the family struggle more desperate. Asterisk ends with a terrifying cliffhanger, leaving the audience desperate for part 6. Here's part 6 of The Baby Cries Every Midnight, continuing from the last cliffhanger, bringing the story to an intense confrontation with the house and its spirits. Backslash hook slash reentry, midnight to 010, asterisk voiceover asterisk. The darkness wasn't just in the house, it was inside them, and now it wanted everything. Backslash suspenseful setup, 010 to 050, asterisk voiceover asterisk. Trapped inside, the family realized there was only one way to survive: confront the house. Every shadow moved like liquid, every whisper command. The baby's cries echoed through their bones. The mother remembered the diary, an old warning. The spirits could only be freed if the family offered what the house truly wanted: a soul in place of the lost. Fear gripped them. Were they ready to give themselves to save their lives? Or was there another way? Backslash build up 050 to 150, asterisk voiceover asterisk. They lit candles around the nursery, forming a circle as the music box played. The baby appeared again, floating above the floor, eyes black, silent. The shadows of dozens of children pressed against the walls, their small faces twisted with anger and sorrow. The father shouted, desperate, "We're not yours. You can't take us." The baby tilted its head, almost smiling, and then, in a voice like a dozen whispers at once, "Then give us what belongs to you." The mother's hand shook as she reached into her chest pocket, holding a tiny locket with a photo of their unborn child. She realized the house wasn't just hungry for spirits. It wanted the next generation, the next life to trap. Backslash mid-story CTA, backslash 1:50, asterisk voiceover asterisk. If your heart is racing, hit subscribe. The final moments of this story are more terrifying than anything before. Backslash main climax, 2 to 250, Asterisk voiceover asterisk. The father slammed the music box to the floor. It shattered. The sound shattered the shadows. The baby shrieked, the walls shook, and the air turned icy. But something unexpected happened. The other spirits, the lost children, reached out to the family, not to harm them, but to fight the baby, the original spirit, the one at the center of the curse. A battle of shadows unfolded. Candles blew out. Screams echoed. And then the baby screamed once more and vanished. Silence fell. The house seemed empty. The family collapsed, trembling, thinking it was over until they heard it. A faint, singular cry, a baby, crying far, far away. /cliffhanger/ to be continued. 2:50+. Asterisk voiceover asterisk. They had survived, but the curse hadn't ended. Somewhere, the baby still waits, and the house isn't done hunting. Every midnight, the cries return. And this time, there's no escape. To be continued. This part 6. Asterisk delivers high-stakes confrontation with the house and spirits. Asterisk introduces a partial resolution while keeping the supernatural threat alive. Asterisk ends on a chilling note with a new twist. The curse persists, ensuring continued suspense for future installments. Here's part 7 of The Baby Cries Every Midnight, continuing the story toward a climactic confrontation and uncovering the ultimate secret of the house. /hook/reentry, midnight to 010. Asterisk voiceover asterisk. The cries never stopped. Midnight had claimed its mark, and the family knew the house wanted more. /suspenseful setup, 010 to 050. Asterisk voiceover asterisk. After weeks of terror, the family learned the house's secret from the oldest records they could find. It was built on cursed land, a site where a midwife had hidden infants she could not save, and dark rituals were performed to preserve them. The spirits of those babies lingered, trapped between life and death. The original baby, the one crying every midnight, was the first to be sacrificed, and now it demanded others to join it. The family realized they were running out of time, and a desperate plan began to form. /build up, 050 to 150. Asterisk voiceover asterisk. They returned to the nursery one final time. This time, they brought relics, salt candles, and fragments of the diary that contained the ritual the midwife had written. At midnight, the cry began again, louder, closer, almost tangible. Shadows pulled in the corners. The baby appeared, black eyes blazing, surrounded by dozens of spectral children. The father began reciting the words from the diary. Candles flickered violently. The shadows recoiled, then surged forward. The music box, now repaired, played its haunting tune. And then the house began to scream. /midstory CTA, /1:50. Asterisk voiceover asterisk. Subscribe now, because what happens next is the most terrifying moment yet. And it's a moment you won't forget. /main climax, 2 to 250. Asterisk voiceover asterisk. The father finished the final words. Salt burned along the floor. Shadows screamed and twisted, clawing at walls and ceiling. The baby floated higher, letting out a blood-curdling scream. The other spirits circled the parents, not to attack, but to help, to push the baby back. With one final chant, the baby shrieked and vanished, and the nursery fell silent. The house trembled, then seemed empty. The curse had been broken, or so they thought. /cliffhanger/ to be continued. 2:50+. Asterisk voiceover asterisk. The family left the house for good, but the moment they drove away, they heard it, faint, distant, unmistakable. A baby crying at midnight. Somewhere, the spirit still wandered, and the house waits for the next family to arrive. To be continued. Here's part 8, moving slowly toward the ending of The Baby Cries Every Midnight, with more deliberate pace that builds tension and sets up a final resolution. /hook/reentry, midnight to 010. Asterisk voiceover asterisk. The cries followed them even miles away. Midnight had left its mark, and it wasn't done yet. /suspenseful setup, 010 to 050. Asterisk voiceover asterisk. After leaving the house, The family tried to rebuild their lives. New town, new home, new routines. But at midnight, the crying returned. Faint at first, almost like a memory. Then louder, clearer. The parents realized escaping wasn't enough. The spirit of the baby in the house's curse could travel with them, tethered to their fear, their unresolved connection. Build up 050 to 150, voice over asterisk. The mother began researching every possible way to sever the curse. Old rituals, protective charms, even spiritual mediums. They found a local psychic, someone reputed to confront lingering spirits permanently. She warned them, this will not be easy. The house is gone, but the baby lives inside you. Midnight will always remember. They prepared carefully. Candles, protective circles, and the music box. The psychic instructed them to wait until the next midnight and face the spirit where it was strongest, inside themselves. /mid-story CTA, /1:50, voice over asterisk. If you're holding your breath, make sure to subscribe, because what happens next could change everything. /main climax, 2 to 250, voice over asterisk. At midnight, the crime began. The house was gone, but the sound filled the room, the air, their minds. Shadows formed. The baby appeared, not in a nursery, not in a house, but in their living room, hovering, black eyes wide, screaming silently. The psychic began the ritual. Candles flickered, symbols glowed, the music box played. The parents felt it, the pull, the weight of the spirit inside them, trying to escape, trying to claim them. The shadows swirled violently. Then the other spirits, the lost children, appeared again. They reached out, not to hurt, but to hold the baby back. The baby's scream pierced reality. And then, with a flash of light, silence. /slow resolution, 250 to 320, voice over asterisk. When they opened their eyes, the room was still, the shadows gone, the crying gone. The music box was silent. The candles burned low. They were alive, free, for now, the psychic warned. The spirit may return if fear grows again. But tonight you survived. The parents hugged, trembling, realizing the fight wasn't over, but the worst had passed. /ending cliffhanger, 3:20+, voice over asterisk. And yet, as they tried to sleep, one faint sound drifted from the corner of the room. A single, soft baby cry, barely audible. Was it a memory? Or a warning that midnight still belonged to the baby? The end for now. Absolutely. Here's a final, gracefully concluded episode/ending for The Baby Cries Every Midnight, designed to provide closure while keeping a lingering sense of unease. This will give the story a satisfying finish, without leaving it abruptly unresolved. /hook/reentry, midnight to 010, voice over asterisk. Years had passed, and the family thought the nightmare was behind them, but some echoes never fully fade. /suspenseful setup, 010 to 050, voice over asterisk. The parents rebuilt their lives quietly. New home, new routines, a fragile sense of peace. The cries had not returned. The shadows were gone. The music box, safely tucked away, was silent. Yet, every so often, at the stroke of midnight, the memory of that haunting would creep back, like a shiver down the spine. They knew the baby spirit was no longer tied to them, but the story of the house, the lost children, and the midnight cries would never truly vanish. Build up 050 to 130, voice over asterisk. They shared their experience sparingly, warning others of the house's dark history. The psychic had told them, the past never fully dies, but those who face it can live on. And so, they lived cautiously, honoring the spirits they had helped set free, carrying the memory of the lost children with them. Every now and then, when the wind howled at midnight, they would swear they heard a faint whisper, not threatening, not angry, but soft, like a lullaby. /resolution, 130 to 210, voice over asterisk. The house remained abandoned, slowly decaying. New families came and went, unaware of the darkness buried within its walls. The baby's cries, the shadows, the curse, all faded into legend, leaving only whispers of fear in the town's history books. The family moved on. Life returned to normal. But they never forgot the lesson the house taught them. Some darkness can be confronted, but it always leaves a mark. / final closing, 210 to 240, * voiceover *. And though the midnight cries are gone, the story lives on. The house may crumble, the shadows may fade, but the echoes of those lost children, the baby who once cried every midnight, remain in the whispers of the wind, in the empty corners of old homes, waiting for someone who remembers. The end. White heavy checkmarked this ending. * provides emotional closure for family. * resolves the haunting, while keeping the story eerie enough to linger with the audience. * leaves a poetic, haunting touch rather than a violent cliffhanger. * perfect for a final episode or voiceover conclusion.